first thing I'm just going to say is I'm nice and relaxed because I just spent the past few days at my beach house, and that got me thinking about vacation homes. And so people at this time of year, they're going down to Narragansett, they're enjoying, Cape Cod, and they're wondering, how do we get a second vacation home? Well, let's first say a vacation home is a true vacation home. It has to be a certain distance from your primary residence, so we can't say, hey, I live in Cranston, Rhode Island. Let me buy a vacation home in Providence.
Are you serious?
I am serious, yeah.
What is that distance?
Technically there's guidelines that will give a certain mileage, but it's more about common sense. So I live in Smithfield, Rhode Island, right? I could technically buy a second home in Narragansett, even though it's maybe 30 miles away.
Not even 15 when you're like a direct line.
How do people do this? They can put 10% down. Okay, so all you need is 10% down, whereas a lot of people think it's 20%. No, you could do 10% down, and you're going to get the same rate as if you were buying a primary residence. Okay, so really, what classifies a vacation property? You need to live in it and enjoy it for part of the year. Okay, that's a vacation property. Now, here's the thing that comes up a lot of the time right now is that a buyer, well, let's say New York, there's a lot of New Yorkers coming in. They want to buy houses in Narragansett, Westerly, South Kingstown, and they want to buy it as a second home, but yet it's rented for the summer. Well, if you can't occupy that property within 60 days at some point, and let's say there's a lease throughout the summer, then you can't do it as a second home. You have to buy it as an investment property. And that's usually, a big problem when buying a second property.
So the gears are ticking in my head, and I'm like, it's a lot. Well, how's the bank going to know?
Well, you're going to sign a note saying that you're going to occupy it at some point within the next 60 days. And we are going to know because the appraiser's going to go out and they're going to check to see, is it rented? Are there tenants in there? People that are walking away from a really good house for maybe less than $1,000, $2,000 worth of repairs.
It's crazy.
And it blows my mind. You know what? We live in New England. They are old houses, and even brand new houses are going to have some issues. You have to put things into perspective. That's why we talk about planning ahead of time. Have some money in the bank to be able to fix some of these repairs. It's a hot market. So if you're not buying this house, guess what? The sellers, they probably have somebody else lined up ready to buy it right away. So what I want you guys to understand is that's why we say have some money in the bank, at least a mortgage payment, have 401k funds, have, a savings before you go ahead and purchase a house. You can do some of these repairs along the way as long as it's not dangerous or a health hazard. The other thing is if you find a house and it does have, let's say, a septic problem or a well problem or a roof, and you're really in love with it, do not walk away for it. Give your mortgage professional a call. We have loans that are called renovation loans, and you can borrow $5,000, you can borrow $20,000, $50,000, as long as you qualify and the house is going to appraise. And guess what? We're going to fix those issues with a licensed contractor, and we're going to get it done within 30, 45 days, and you just have your dream home.